You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today on our Motivation and Mindset Monday, we have this topic is actually by popular request. So I'll be getting quite a number of emails on our Ask Cabral page asking about how I can maybe provide some tips on life management, time management, productivity. And, sometimes people are joking around and sometimes they're serious. What I'd like to do is this is such a big part of being an overall happy and healthy person that I said, let's dedicate a whole show to this. And I want to really teach you the understanding of why this goes so much deeper into your health and your happiness by being more productive, by using your life in, let's just say, a more productive or timely manner in the way that you get things done. So I always like to say this, and this is my quote. I'm not sure who I can attribute this to, but I certainly don't want to take credit for it in myself. And that's that time management is really life management. And the reason is this. We know that we all get 24 hours in a day. Some people a little bit more productive, some not. And why is that? It's really looking into, it's not necessarily the number of tasks a person has to do, but the manner in which they go about their day. Is it chaotic? Is it planned? Or is it kind of somewhere in between? And we're going to take you from hopefully somewhere in between to being far more planned and productive, but we're also going to make it easy. And so what I'd like to say as well is the important focus right now is not always on getting more and more done and accumulating more and more things in life. I think we think that sometimes that is the goal. I don't know of any person who says their end goal of happiness is just to accumulate all of these material things. It's usually happiness means having great relationships with people, having great relationships with your family, your spouse, enjoying the quality of work that you do, a sense of feeling like you're giving back, making sure that your own body is strong enough and healthy enough so you don't have to deal with debilitating diseases of age. So when we look at that, none of those things did I said, well, I want the very best TV, the very best car, the very best whatever, because those type of material things, while yes, they could actually bring us happiness, it's probably short-lived. And also when you look at it, if you had a beautiful new Tesla, and I'm not saying not to buy a Tesla, but let's say you had a beautiful new Tesla versus a car that cost half of that much or a quarter of that much, right? Because if let's say a Tesla is $100,000, I actually don't know how much it costs, but let's say it's $100,000, you could probably get just as much pleasure out of a nice $25,000 car, right? So when we look at that, I don't know if that extra jump to that would bring us that much more happiness unless we're looking at happiness as a way of almost buying it through material-based things. But I don't think that's what we're looking for. So I just wanted to clarify that. That's not what today's show is about. But as you're going about your life management, your time management, I want you to start to prioritize. I want you to focus on what is it truly that you want to get the most out of life, because you can't do everything, right? You can't do everything. Or if you can, it's certainly not going to be in 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. So what I want you to do is what's important right now to you. That's the first step in actually becoming more productive and managing your life and managing your time to a far better degree is deciding, okay, there's a million things that I want and need to do, but what is it that I need to do right now? That's the important thing to focus. And so when we know our goals, we get a little bit more clear about what we want, then we can start to become more productive. And I like to say, and you've heard me share this on previous shows before, usually on Mindset and Motivation Mondays, is that it's really nice to pick maybe 1, 2, or 3 goals maximum. And try to have them in different areas of your life. So let's say that you're doing great in terms of spirituality and your faith and just kind of like how you feel about the greater scheme of life. We'll put it that way. I don't know if that's the best term for it, but we'll put it that way. Then look at your relationships. How are they? Have you kind of lost touch with some friends? Have you lost touch with maybe even some of your own family members? Well, if that's the case, then you might want to make that a priority. You might want to say, okay, over the next month, what I'd love to do is schedule a couple of dinners or a couple of get-togethers on the weekend with people that I've lost touch with. That's a really nice, very simple thing to do. That's kind of maybe been hanging over your head, and we're going to talk about that in a minute as well, to just check off, to say, you know what, that is a priority. I have lost touch. It's been months since I've seen these people, maybe even years. It'd be so nice to just even reach out with a phone call, right? Instead of just a text, talking to people on the phone. That could be one thing as well. Then I also talk about your career. Now, your career could be anything that you choose it to be, and that also doesn't necessarily have to be monetary as well. It's what you're spending your time on that you're working towards. And again, a lot of people, career-wise also means finances, so the two can oftentimes be lumped together. Not always, but they can be. And working towards that. And then your health, your body as well. So a lot of times with our bodies, we go through waves. So we're working out for a while, we're eating healthier, we're getting in great shape, and then it just starts to slide. And sometimes it slides in the summertime. Sometimes it slides over the wintertime, around the holidays. But then you say, okay, that has to now begin to become a priority again. So what I'm saying right now, I'm just trying to give you some examples. It could even be more time with your kids. But what you want to do is you want to focus on a few of those. Not too much, because remember, we can't do too much. We're trying to manage our time. Write them all down so you let your mind know, because again, you have to talk to your mind as well, and you have to say, we're going to get to all these things. I know you want to do this, this, and this. We're going to get to all of them, but what I'm saying right now is these are kind of my 1A, 1B, and 1C, and everything else is a little further down the line. And then what I want you to do is think about this. I want you to think about, what can you do over the next 90 days? Sometimes 6 months, a year is just too far down the road. Now, you can have longer-term goals of a promotion at work, of a vacation where you're getting the whole family together further down the road. All of those are fine to look at. What I want you to think of next 12 weeks, next 90 days, because that's really when the magic happens. When you have it within that period of time, a lot of great things can happen. That's why I do basically 12-week weight loss programs for people. We do that in our locations in Boston. We do 12-week wellness-based programs. They're like 12 to 16 weeks to get fully well. So when you look at these timelines, you can grab onto that. You know that that's a finite period of time where you can get so much work done. It's a short period of time, but the results are typically remarkable within that period of time. So what I want you to do is, okay, we have 90 days. That's 3 months. Now let's look at our goals within a 3-month period of time. What realistically can we achieve within that 3-month period of time? And then let's work backwards. Now what can we do month 1, month 2, and month 3? Okay, now let's look at that first month. On month 1, so basically you're just chunking down your goals. I use the weight loss example all the time because it's the simplest. If you want to lose, let's say, 40 pounds in 3 months, in 90 days, I want you to aim to lose about, and again, that's a very aggressive goal, but let's say that you have 100 pounds to lose, you want to lose 40 of that in 90 days. That's absolutely realistic. You could do that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to chunk that down. You say, I'm going to lose 15 the first month, 15 the second month, and 10 the last month. So again, those are aggressive goals, but you can do that with 5 days a week of exercise, doing a good quality nutrition plan, and then maybe doing a 21-day Dr. Ball detox within that period of time. That will get you to that goal. It's aggressive. You need to follow it, but you can make that happen. What I'm trying to say is you can even make aggressive goals like that happen if you choose to. Now, you want to lose 20 pounds in 90 days. That's even easier. You'll lose probably 8 pounds that first month, and then you might lose 7 to 8 the next month, and then around 5 pounds that third month. And that's going to get you, again, to your weight loss goals. But you could do that for anything. You could do it and say, okay, I want to reconnect with 6 different friends. Well, over 90 days, every other week, you could start to connect with another friend. So again, what I need you to do here is look at the big goals, now chunk it down. Once you get to the first month, then I want you to break it down into weeks. You say, okay, this week I'm meeting with this person, or this week I'm taking this step. You know, I did this myself with writing my next book, and I had to do this because the thought of writing a book is very overwhelming. You know, my books, or the books that I like to write, are just right under, let's say, 300 pages or so. They start off at like 400 or 500 pages, and then I have to whittle that down because I know that realistically most people aren't going to read that much material. And also, I want to make it more concise. I want to bring information to you in very actionable steps. I want action plans at the end of each chapter. I want call-outs. I want all of these different things. So it's like a handbook. It's more like a workbook. That's what I like to write is how can you get something out of this? It's nice to bring ideas up, but I find that, you know, exercise in futility. Fine, you can tell me that cell phones create brain cancer. You can tell me all of these things, but tell me now what to do so that I don't get the brain cancer. You could tell me that eating foods doused with pesticides can cause neurological defects, that can cause ADD, ADHD, they can cause all sorts of other different types of disease as well, including cancer. But what am I supposed to do? What can I do if I can't afford all organic? Which foods should I eat? So that's what I like to do. That's what I like to bring to people. So back on topic here, what I want to tell you right now is we're going to work week to week, but then also day to day. And I want to give you a little example of what I do. So what I do is I actually, the night before each day starts, what I will do is on an index card, and get little to-do list cards, and I'll link that up in today's show notes as well, is you can actually go half hour, 45, and 60-minute blocks. That's what I do in my day. And then what I do is I actually script my day. So I write down specifically, okay, I don't write when I wake up, but I know what time I'm waking up. And then I say after, because I like to ease into the day, tune back into previous Mindset and Motivation Mondays, I ease into my day for less stress. And that's helped me out so it's just so phenomenal. It really is. Waking up a half hour before you have to, you get so much more done. So I now wake up 90 minutes before I need to leave the house. So 60 to 90 minutes, always 60 minutes, but more towards the 90 minutes. That allows me to wake up before the rest of the world, basically, and that allows me then to get done what I need to in life in a relaxed manner without having to start the day, as if a gun just went off, an air raid siren. That always stressed me out. Now I'm much more relaxed. I enjoy this way. But the night before, I script out, okay, here's the first thing I do when I get to work. Here's the first person I'm meeting with, the second person, or different meetings I have. And then here's the time when I'm going to be writing one chapter of my book. And I write out specifically, I know how long it takes me to write 10 pages. So I'll put that specifically in there. And then I say, okay, this is lunchtime. Because I'm someone who will work right through lunch. I really enjoy what I do. I love what I do. And my work is never ending. I could literally work 24 hours a day and still never be caught up. So that can create a lot of stress in someone's life. However, I follow the same tips that I'm giving you right now, and I'm about to share all of those things with you. So then I write down, okay, this is my lunchtime. My lunchtime is always, I'm always out going for a walk during lunch. I'm putting her on some of my binaural beats. I'm listening to someone else's podcast besides doing my own, and I'm enjoying my lunchtime. I really am. I'm with people all day long. I really am. So for the most part, I enjoy having lunch by myself. I enjoy quiet time. I enjoy going for a walk. I enjoy eating, sometimes in just silence or listening to a podcast or whatever it might be. I enjoy that time, and then I'm back with people again. So it's my quiet time. It's my break. It's the time to turn off that sympathetic nervous system and just calm the body down. And then I script the second half of my day. And so I just go through it half hour by half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it might be, all the way through the day. And I'll write in when my workout time is. So I will literally write that in, and things stop. Things stop at that workout time because I have to manage my day. I have to manage my life. And that's what this list is all about. Now, that might seem neurotic to a lot of people, is having this little list. And I don't have it on the weekend, but I certainly do Monday through Friday. But the truth is, it prevents you from becoming neurotic. It prevents you from always being anxious, all these different things, because you just follow the list. I'm telling you, when you follow the list, it takes all of the decision-making out of the equation, and it's the decision-making that goes on throughout the day that makes you anxious, that causes the worry. When you don't have to make decisions, there's no decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is like you can't even decide what you want for dinner because you just had to make so many choices and decisions throughout the day. For me, and what I try to teach is I don't have to make any. They've already been made for me that night before. And also that to-dos list the night before allows me then to sleep soundly. I sleep like a baby. I'm relaxed. I feel great. Now, that wasn't always the case. I was the best #1 insomniac really in the world. Some nights I just literally wouldn't fall asleep. Best nights it would take me 2 to 3 hours because I couldn't turn off my mind. But now I've come up with these little tricks, these little hacks, and they work fantastic for me. They've worked fantastic for a lot of other people. Keep in mind, you're an individual. You might have to tweak your list, and it just takes time. Play with it a little bit until you get it just right for you and your personality. But I'll tell you what, a list like this as well, they allow you to also see the other side of the equation. And I really believe that this might even be more beneficial, more helpful. And it's that when you have an index card, when you have this little to-do list and it's hour by hour, and you see all of your goals, and you see everything that needs to get done, you realize you can't get it done all in one day. It's like an out. It gives you an excuse, but an actual true excuse, and allows you to relax because it's not like you're not doing anything. You can see you're scripting your day. You're getting things done. You're becoming more efficient. And I see, can I do this in less time? And if I can, I try to find those ways so I can get more done. But at the end of the day, I only have one day. I only have 24 hours, and I don't even have 24 hours because I need to dedicate 8 of that to sleep. I need to dedicate another 3 hours or so to my family at night as well. So I dedicate all of those things, and I make sure I get everything done in a day that I want to get done. So how I look at it as well is that I then allow myself to breathe. I can look at this list and I can say, I know there's another dozen things that I want to get done, but they can't get done today. And that's it alleviates the stress. It alleviates the anxiety because I can then say, okay, I'm going to split these other dozen things up into other days during the week, and then some are going to go into the next week. So then I already have my next few days planned because I know it has to get done in those free spots, which is also work or whatever it might be. And it could just be, hey, at 10 o'clock, I need to make sure I don't schedule any clients because my daughter has a school play. And that's that. I mean, literally, every quarter we have a parent-teacher meeting, and I'm always make sure I'm at that. My daughter does birthday things, and we're at that. So, it's finding those balances. But with this list, I can say, okay, well, this has to get bumped, so we're going to put it on this day. And I'm telling you, although this might seem like maybe a little bit of work, it relieves you of so much more stress. It makes your mind not have to use as much bandwidth because you don't have all these different thoughts running around your head. Now they're on paper. Now they're on a to-do list, and they're going to get done because I love going through the day and I love checking them off and drawing a line through it. It's a great sense of accomplishment. So if you feel like you're always in the hamster wheel or the rat race, by checking things off your list, you know that you're being productive. You know that you are getting things done. And if for whatever reason something comes up and you can't get it done on that list, well, it's okay. You're going to bring that to the next day. I also like to leave a little bit of like a couple half-hour free spots to be able to catch up during the day as well, or that can just be my free time as well. So hopefully this helps, and I think you're going to start to see once you begin to implement strategies like this, once you start to do the to-do list the night before, once you start to get clear on your goals, realizing what can you accomplish, what even do you want to accomplish, what's really a priority in your life, because a lot of things that you think that you want to accomplish, they're just nice thoughts, but they're not a real priority for you. Put those aside. You can accomplish those in the future if you'd like to, but that's not of meaning to you right now. Figure out the things of meaning. Just take some time. Take this week to think about it. It doesn't have to get done this week. Think about what it is that you really want out of life. Start to prioritize those things into a 1, 2, and 3. Those things could be accomplished one at a time or all 3 together, but never really more than that. Then start to chunk those down into 12-week, 90-day goals, then to monthly, then to weekly, and then pull out that daily to-do list. Write it out the night before. Give yourself that sense of accomplishment by checking things off each and every day. Hopefully this episode helped, and please feel free to pass it on to anyone else you believe it could serve.
Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.